just when I thought it couldn't get any weirder, they actually managed to put a gacha system in Cardfight Vanguard. Hey there guys, John here, bringing you another news update for the week for the world of Cardfight Vanguard. This time, we're going to be going over more of the collab sets in terms of Monster Strike and Touken Ranbu. So guys, the stream just wrapped up for the Bushiroad Weekly streams, and oh boy, did they announce a lot of news. Not just for Touken Ranbu, but of course the mechanics of Monster Strike. And you'll be surprised to know that, hey, a gacha game has gacha mechanics in Cardfight Vanguard. So we're going to be going over that, and of course, some of the other stream reveal cards. And of course, if you like this style of content, guys, remember to like, comment, and subscribe, as it does help the channel, and we greatly appreciate it. But we're just going to jump right into these card reveals, guys, because there is a lot to talk about here. So we're going to start out right now with the simple ride line. So this is, of course, Kasen Kanesada. He's just a very simple D-starter, not much else to say here. However, much like last week's reveals, he evolves into a grade 1 in the form of Kasen Kanesada Sento. So he reads, when this unit is rode upon by Toku, which is the grade 2, choose one of your Vanguards and it gets plus 10,000 power until end of turn. And then continuous rearguard circle during your turn, this unit gets plus 2k. So he is a 10k booster, which is super good. But at the same time, when you ride into the grade 2, your grade 2 for that push turn becomes a 20k, which is really good actually. Thinking about it like in a beats aspect, you're putting a solid 20k Vanguard swing on the board, and if your opponent wasn't going to be guarding it, they're definitely not going to be guarding it with a 20k plus a booster behind it. Put another Sento behind it, it's a 30k, which is super good on a grade 2 push turn. Very nice for, getting early damage in. So let's go over the grade 2 now for Toku. So this is Kasen Kanesada Toku, and it reads, when this unit is rode upon by Kasen Kasenwara Kiwame, which is the grade 3, you soul charge 1, choose one of your Vanguards, and it gets plus 5k until end of turn. So again, another beats aspect in that sense. You're getting a 13k to an 18k plus a booster, making up maybe just this Kasen Kanesada. This is a 28, which asks for a 30k shield, which asks for a 20k shield, which is actually really nice in terms of guarding, when it comes to the early game aspect as well as late game pushes. So super good fan of that. And then during your turn, this unit gets plus 2k, so it's a 12k beater in that aspect. Overall, it's a very solid card if you're just thinking of pure numbers and magic number ratios. It's a card that helps get there. And overall, I think it's just a very nice card when it comes to just beating your opponent in the face in with good numbers. And then Toku evolves into his final grade 3 form, that is Kasen Kanesada Kiwame. So Kiwame reads, act Vanguard Circle once per turn, Soul Blast 1, rest any number of your rearguards for each unit rested by this unit's cost. It gets plus 5,000 power until the end of turn. And then its other skill is a continuous skill that reads Vanguard Circle during the battle that this unit attacked. If this unit's power is 30k or greater, when your opponent would call cards from their hand to the Guardian Circle, they must call 2 or more cards at the same time. So it's got this very interesting D-Police effect going on here. Very unique, I would say. Well, not necessarily unique, because there is Battle Door, which is basically what this card is mimicking. But overall, for the Touken Ranbu aspect, it's very nice because, if you're thinking about Kasen Kanesada as a whole, you're thinking about beating your opponent in the early game and then putting down the pressure on them in the late game with something like this, swinging with a large 30k Vanguard, and if they want to respond, they have to guard with a multitude of cards from their hand. And yeah, overall, it's a very solid card. You can see why it is a triple rare, so it is a very nice ride line. And plus, on a Persona ride turn, it becomes even more pressuring, which is super cool. And then moving on from the grade 3, we're of course going to go to the poster boy of the Sword Boys himself, and that is Mikazuki Munichika. So it is, of course, when anyone thinks about Touken Ranbu, this is probably one of the main guys that you're going to think about, and he is a grade 2 in this booster set, which is pretty cool. Anyway, he is a grade 2 that reads auto rearguard circle once per turn. When this unit attacks, perform all of the effects below according to the number of cards in your damage zone. If you have 3 or more, this unit gets plus 5,000 power. If you have 4 or more, look at the top card of your deck and you may put it to the top or bottom of your deck. And then if you have 5 or more, counter blast and soul blast 1 and stand this unit. So really cool. If you guys remember what I said last week, I believe that the overall playstyle of certain aspects for Touken Ranbu is you want to be able to play with cards in your damage zone. And based on the number of cards in your damage zone or the number of cards you have face up or face down, when in terms of counterblasting in your damage zone, certain effects are going to happen. And, this is a sheer reflection of that. It's a very nice card, actually. The fact that it's able to restand Multiple attacks, especially in Overdress, is really nice. You know, the 10k power, then plus the 5k power, it's a solid 25k beater on the board. And it has that nice OTT aspect that's really, really cool. Very unique. And I'm very interested to see where they're going to go from here. And then speaking of more unique cards, the next card we're going to be talking about is another triple rare grade 2. That is Onodeta Mitsuyo. So he reads, auto rearguard circle, when this unit attack hits, if you Persona Road this turn, you may counterblast 1 and heal 1 damage. So, Sword Boys have Angel Feather effects now, I guess? First off, this should never be hitting. If you are playing against this, there has to be a very good reason why you let this hit, because healing 1 damage is really, really good. If you put this in the deck, this is a solid pressure unit, and your opponent will probably more than likely expend a large amount of resources trying to guard for this, which is very nice. And then if you think about it in another aspect, he also becomes a very nice attack target, basically helping you soak up some damage because they're going to be wanting to try and attack into this unit to try and get it off the board because it is a threatening unit. Overall, very solid card. I don't see it as a 4 of, but you know, I'm not Touken Ranbu expert, so time will tell and see where this guy will lead when it comes to builds overall. And then moving on from the sheer craziness of this card, let's talk about another triple rare that they announced. I think they announced all the triple rares, if I'm not mistaken, from this set. Anyway, the next card we're going to talk about is Jizumaru Tsunugetsu, which is actually, for those who are Sword Boy mains, you'll remember, is the actual G-Guardian for Touken Ranbu, but now he is in the form of a grade 2. So his effect reads, auto rearguard circle, counterblast 1, and rest this unit and one of your other units. Choose one of your opponent's units, and it gets minus 5,000 power until the end of turn. And if you Persona Road this turn, stand all of your rearguards. So, now they have a Zeal effect on top of being Angel Feathers as well. So you can see that, you know, this is what I mean by Touken Ranbu kind of being this mishmash of a whole bunch of different mechanics, and they just decided to mesh everything together. It doesn't have one solid game plan, but it has a lot of different types of playstyles to help adapt to what the deck may want to do, which is really cool. The fact that you're able to minus your opponent's power and then pump your own power to sheer numbers of aggression, making magic numbers, puts a lot more pressure onto your opponent because they're going to have to guard a lot more. So you can see that there's a lot of beats here, there's a lot of power plays here, and overall, very, very cool. And then moving right along, guys, let's talk about another triple rare that they announced, another grade 2, and that is Onimaru Kinutsuna. So he reads, auto rearguard circle, when this unit attacks, if your opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, cost counterblast 1 and soul blast 1, and until the end of battle, this unit gets plus 5,000, plus 1 critical, and then at the end of the battle, put this unit to the bottom of the deck. So again, this is another card that says basically, I am a pressuring unit and you have to respond. Put this in with a Persona Ride. This is a solid 25k beater, and then with a boost, that's a 33 or to a 35. Maybe you minus your opponent's Vanguard with the grade 2's ability from the previous slide. So you can see here that there are a lot of mechanics that make Touken Ranbu a very pressuring type of clan. You have to respond in a certain way with your guards, and if you don't, there are punishments for that. And it's nice, it's cool. It makes your opponent think, and it makes you think as well in terms of attack patterns and what exactly you want to play to make your deck unique with that sort of pressure. And then the last Touken Ranbu card I would like to talk to you guys about today is, of course, their Over Trigger. So guys, they finally announced the Over Trigger for Touken Ranbu, and it is kind of a quote-unquote throwback because it is called Kashu Kiyomitsu Shiken Hisatsu. So Shiken Hisatsu was a mechanic in Touken Ranbu back in the early days, but now it is a Over Trigger, which is really cool. But it's not a regular Over Trigger, because if you guys notice, this card doesn't have any shield value. And we'll go over the reason why, because its effects read as follows. So, of course, the additional effect for the Over Trigger reads, during this turn, all of your units get +1 critical. Plays into that super pressuring power plays that is Touken Ranbu, and then its other effect says, when played, choose one of your Vanguards, and it gets critical +1 until end of turn, and if you have 5 or more cards in your damage zone, all of your units get +10k. So guys, this is a trigger order card. Insane. Absolutely insane. I mean, when you think about it, something like this was bound to happen eventually, but it's just, for me, it's shocking because it's happened so soon that we're getting something so early in Overdress's phase where you can play with a trigger card, and that trigger card essentially acts like an order card. And this order card is actually really powerful, especially if you have 5 or more damage, giving your entire board plus 10,000 power. And if you Persona Road that turn, makes your numbers absolutely ridiculous. And then put in the fact that everything else in your grade 2 slots are super pressuring units with really unique effects. It just plays into this aspect that your opponent is going to have to take one hit, and whatever that hit's going to be, it's going to punish them. Super cool, super insane, guys. And yeah, guys, that's going to do it for all the Touken Ranbu reveals. There were a few promo cards that they announced as well, but I don't know how relevant those promo cards are going to be, as well as the fact that I actually don't even know if we're going to be getting Touken Ranbu now as a whole for the set. So I thought maybe if we do end up getting the Touken Ranbu set, we could probably talk about them in another video. But for now, what I want to talk to you guys about is the mechanics of the collab set for Monster Strike, which are super, super cool. So let's go over those. So Monster Strike is very simple, quote unquote. So the first unique aspect of Monster Strike is that you start out with actually 5 cards in your ride deck instead of 4. The reason being is because there is an order card that you're going to be playing from your ride deck that is your Gacha mechanic. And essentially what that is, it's a card that allows you to take the top card of your deck and put it into what's called a monster box. And what the monster box is a card where you roll your cards into to allow you to add the cards from the monster box into your hand. So it's kind of like superior calling in a sense, but you have a little more options, and depending on what is added into the monster box, you have essentially a larger second hand. Anyway, let's go over the unique order card for Monster Strike now, and that card is the Gachidora, or Gachidora. Don't exactly know how to properly pronounce it, but anyway, this is the unique order card that you play, and its effect reads, Act Order Zone, rest this card, put the top card of your deck face up in the monster box. So this is the quote-unquote rolling mechanic or summoning mechanic, which means you take the top card of your deck and you place it into your monster box zone, which is a card that you're able to then swap out or swap into with a card in your hand if you wish to do so, which is nice. It gives you kind of like a second hand in a sense, but it's not always guaranteed what's going to be in the monster box, hence that crazy aspect of a gacha system. Anyway, the following effect reads, Act Order Zone once per fight. If your opponent's Vanguard is at grade 3 or greater, cost Counterblast 2, rest this card, put the top 10 cards of your deck face up into the monster box, then choose up to 3 cards from your monster box and call them to rearguard circle. So yes, guys, it is a 10 pull. They not only have single pulls in the Monster Strike deck, but they also have 10 pulls, which is insane. So, you know, you can get your SSRs and your SRs into your monster box, and then if they're really good units, you can call them onto the field, and then those cards will probably get effects when they're called from the monster box, or maybe have some sort of cool striking effects, because Monster Strike is, you know, how the game originally plays is that, you know, you have your monsters, but they also are in the form of a ball, and then you're able to strike the ball, and, you know, they have certain effects when on the field. At least that's how that works in Monster Strike. So, you know, that could also work in terms of Vanguard. Maybe when they're called from the monster box, some crazy stuff happens. But overall, it's, you know, kind of crazy. It is literally a gacha system inside of Cardfight Vanguard. Very unique, and I'm gonna love to see where they're gonna go from here. And yeah, guys, that is going to do it for the news this week. Overall, a lot of unique and crazy cards, honestly. Yes, of course, we don't know for sure if these cards are coming to the TCG, but it's just nice to see that, you know, they are experimenting here with different aspects to try and give some more flavor, some more life into Vanguard, maybe introduce people, you know, that are fans of Touken Ranbu or fans of Monster Strike, and be like, look, guys, you still have that kind of initial playstyle of Monster Strike, or, you know, you do have these really cool cards for Touken Ranbu. They're just done in a way that helps blend well with the mechanics of Cardfight Vanguard. And if that gets them into the game, you know, more power to them, and just brings more love into this game overall, which I'm a super big fan of. But yeah, guys, that is going to do it for the week. What do you guys think of this week's reveals? Please let me know in the comments down below. Let me know if you guys even want me to reveal more of the Touken Ranbu Monster Strike reveals, and if not, that's totally cool. I mean, I do know that later down in the May line, we are going to be getting more of the set 2 reveals, which is super nice, and then maybe I'll go over some of the festival collection reveals that are remaining down the line as well. But of course, you know, let me know in the comments down below. I am more than flexible. when it comes to that regard. But yeah, I'm going to be signing out for the week, guys. Hope you enjoyed my video, and I will see you guys next time. Deuces!